Minecraft food. You can't go without it. But it's actually a little bit annoying to constantly like having to eat food. Having to have that hunger bar filled up. It's a little bit annoying. Luckily for me, I have this amazing backpack where I just need to slide on the food, and with this feeding upgrade, we can feed ourselves potatoes in this case. But I'm kind of tired of potatoes. I want a better food source. And here come all these little guys, even rabbits. Well, I just realized something very, very bad. I updated my mods and stuff like that, and my trains are gone. Even the tracks were somehow like desynced, but I broke a single piece and replaced it, and they all seem to be working now because they're white. They were all blinking red. But where the hell are my trains? So I had to come over onto a creative world, and I had to make myself a train, and I just assembled it. And yes, this will be our train. It may need a few tweaks, or the stations themselves may need a few tweaks, but I like how it looks. I like how it looks. And now what I'm gonna do, I'm just gonna disassemble this train, and I'm gonna use a schematic to copy it over into our world. So here it is, making our train. I do need some adjustments. For example, this chute would have to move a couple of blocks, but right now that's not like the most important part. The most important part is try and get this guy to go places and do things. Because at the moment, yeah, this is very bad, the fact that I have 0 trains and I'm kind of dependent on trains. And I also made a fluid version of this train, just swapped out the item vaults for tanks and all the necessary parts. And I also want to test this out. Yes, I got this. I got a little conductor guy. This is one of the cool things on Create Steam and Rails, where if you make this recipe right here, you get a little conductor's hat. And this allows you to actually have a conductor, an actual guy that conducts your contraptions. You can deploy it like this as well. And I do believe they actually like do redstone and stuff like that. I can give them like a storage thingy, but I also want to see if I can like make him go into there. Hopefully, can you drive the train? Please. Well, he's on the spot, so if I just get out a schedule, which I should have up there, then we can try it out. So the train is fixed. I basically just moved this train station, or the block there, a few blocks forward, so that this would line up. And as you can see, this guy is getting pretty full, and this guy is making all the stops at the moment. I'm not sending this one to the mob farm just yet. I'll make a second one specific for the mob farm, because the mob farm one he needs to make a trip and a half. Now I need to fix the next quick issue, which is trying to get all these resources in me. And why can't you go there? And there he goes. There was a block that there was a signal there that kind of lost his direction, so he wasn't able to come this way. But now here he comes. Hopefully this is lined up where it needs to be, and I'm 1 block short. And so now that we can actually move on with the animals, I made, well, the enclosure for all of them. You can see we have rabbits, we have chickens, we have pigs, sheep, cows, and at the moment this is what it looks like from behind. These drops were mainly to experiment, except the eggs. I'm actually already farming some eggs, but this minced beef is coming from there, but where I just placed down some steaks just to see this bad boy in action, the slicers. They do have some diamond knives that I enchanted with unbreaking and mending, so they're now here just chilling, cutting beef for us. And in case you want to know how this works, well, it's kind of simple. Of course, you need a deployer that will be feeding your animals. Then you have, of course, I have the animals in a pen. And now, if you want to take a look at how this works, have here pen with a nozzle, or a nozzle. I guess you should say a nozzle. And I have this in all these junctions, as you can see here. This will make sure that the animals do get pushed into the middle and fall into here. I did have to put those trapdoors because the air was flowing upwards and the animals were getting stuck. Now the animals do drop down and do get put into here. Then, of course, you have to make the enclosure be a little bit different for all the animals, or a couple of these. For example, the rabbits, as you can see, you need to put a fence and you need to put a half slab there. So that's only like a very, very tiny gap for the baby ones to spread or to just jump out. They will be stuck in here most of the times. Their rabbits are kind of annoying whenever they have babies, but they will eventually just go down there. Now, for chickens and pigs, you need the same system without the slabs. You literally just do the fences, which means that the adult ones cannot go through, but the baby ones can, and the baby ones will get eventually pushed on down. And I do have like several amount of chickens here, and I do have already a very decent amount of pigs here. And then we have sheep and cows, which, well, they literally need nothing. The baby ones just go through one block gaps, and the tall ones won't. So as you can see, these ones will never go through, but the baby ones all end up down here. Now you might be wondering, but well, how am I killing them? How am I separating the tall one, the big ones from the baby ones? I'm not. This is gonna be very laggy. This is gonna be very loud because I'm gonna use entity cramming here. I don't want to have to deal with separating the big ones and the baby ones from the larger ones. Because, for example, rabbits, how the hell do I separate those? I have no clue how to separate those. I could possibly do it for cows, pigs, sheep, maybe chickens. But I have no clue for rabbits. Like, I have zero clue how to do those for rabbits. So I decided, well, just to save some space, I'll do it all the same, which is going to be entity cramming. Entity cramming means that whenever I have 25, or I think it's actually 24 plus entities in this small space, they will all take damage. Or I guess you should say that new one would take damage. But Minecraft works, luckily for us, in a way that the first guys that take damage are the adult ones. So the baby one, even though I might have a baby come in here, the baby will not be the one taking damage. The one taking damage will be an already existing adult cow. Which, since this takes quite a little bit of time, we should have like a decent amount of adult cows in here whenever a new one pops in. So we would always kill an adult cow, and then the drops get picked up by this smart chute that's right underneath the cows, and then it just puts it onto the belt. The slicer cuts down the meat, and the meat gets put into here. And yes, if even, for example, the leather will go smoothly down because the slicer has nothing to do to it, so it just moves on down the belt. And yes, this will be very, very loud, so I think we should just go down here and take down the friendly creatures volume, like 10. Yeah, that's much, much quieter for us, so we can actually work in kind of a piece, I should say. And of course, the only one that does not have a slicer is the rabbit one, because it doesn't actually do anything to the rabbit meat. So for example, if you check rabbits, there's no recipe that uses the slicer, so we don't really need to slice the meat up because we can't. Oh, and yeah, this is very slow to start with because it needs to get to that 25-ish number. So it's still just making babies, and I still don't have this fully automated, of course. At the moment, I'm just using hoppers with the respective food source. But the rabbits are done. They eat a lot because the baby one stays here. Like, it doesn't go down, the baby one, and just sits here. While he's sitting here, he's eating the carrots to grow faster. So this may be a little bit of an issue, maybe? I don't know. Hopefully it isn't. But right now we need to bring all the crops here that are necessary. We might just bring literally every single crop into here. But of course, I do still want to have a storage over there. I will just send the items here. Through that gap, maybe we make a hole there and send them here. Or we have to send the items down. I'll have to figure out a way to bring the items into here. Which shouldn't be that much of an issue. And then we just make like a wall here, a wall of items where we collect and storage all the things, because my idea here is make kind of a self-service kitchen, but at the same time it needs to be a very, very functional self-service kitchen. Like, for example, if I came here and I want hamburgers, I need to have all the items needed to craft a bunch of hamburgers. For example, this is the recipe for hamburgers. I want to just grab onto all of these and just make like a stack or 2 stacks or how many hamburgers I want. I want to do this with all the items, or a few items, I guess. For example, some sandwiches. So I do need to cook some eggs. I do need to cook some chicken. I do need to cook some of the bacon. To make the hamburger, I need to cook some of the beef. So most of these items will be like split in half, and I'll have the raw version and I'll have the cooked version. And I say split in half because, for example, if you take a look at the raw bacon, you can see that we can mix it to make other items. So we can mix it to do dumplings, for example. We can mix it here in the cooking pot to make cabbage rolls. Stuff like this, that it needs the raw version. So I want the raw version, and I also want the cooked version. So the next step is moving all the items down onto the actual place. And I made this thing right here, which is basically separating all the items that I want to go over there, and still keeping all the items that we need for ethanol going on the same route. And then if we just follow along with the potatoes here, I'm gonna make like a massive bridge. And we can see that the items are stuck in here because I forgot to give them an actual way of going into that draw controller, because I completely forgot about I forgot about a lot of things. I think you guys already start to notice this. It's not my fault. It's not intended. Oh my god, that's a lot of carrots. But yeah, I guess I can just pop these here. These have diamond upgrade with some void upgrade. That's because I don't have a lot of emeralds right now, so I'm just gonna use diamond upgrades because we can get diamonds easily. But emeralds we gotta trade with villagers as of right now. We may want to speed this up a little bit more. So to do that, it's really easy. We just go back here and we upgrade this speed. Let's say we do it at 64. Everything will move a little bit faster, and I believe that would be really good. Now, it would help like take the items out of there. As soon as all the items are out of the storage from up there, this will not have as many items coming in. It will still have a decent amount of items like pumping in. It shouldn't be like that crazy of an amount of items. And of course, some of these items that we have here, I still need to build some stations here where I can like put a lot of these to cook, to cut, and stuff like that. Because this is what this area is all going to be about. Well, it appears our first sheep died, which is very, very good because we got a piece of wool. Now, you might be wondering, well, how is this still here? Well, I'm moving items through this belt all the way down into here, which is a new area that I'm working on. As you can see, we did get some bones, but I believe these are from skeletons, because I don't think any of my mobs should be dropping in bone. Yeah, as you can see, there's an arrow as well. So yeah, this does not belong here. I don't want it. And I'm also hooking up these stoves with cooking pots already stacked with some bowls, and these skillets which are already used to make some potatoes. And if you don't know how these ones work, basically just put them here, and whenever a potato is ready, it's gonna pop out to the right. And I have this basket, which is basically a better hopper, like a bigger hopper, because it just picks up the items and puts it into it. Pretty cool thing, you know. It's a very good addition to the Farmer's Delight pack, because they thought about this, you know. They thought about this. So I also made a few machines here. Now this one is the most complicated, we'll get to it in a second, but this one is probably the easiest. This one is just a millstone, so we can mill, like, for example, rice, and then we get like the actual rice and we put it and we store it in here. We also have another slicer here for any recipe that we want to possibly have sliced. For example, if we get this pumpkin, let's see, if we put the pumpkin there, it just immediately pops the pumpkin out because I don't have the filters on yet. That's something that I still have to work. But if we, for example, do this for a moment, grab on these pumpkins and put these ones going into here, and it's not doing anything. Why? So, for example, the millstone, we just put in some rice, and I believe it would only, yeah, this one we don't need to filter because it's only going to output the machine's output, which is rice and straw. So that's good. And then we have this monstrosity right here. Now, this one is making dough, wheat dough. How does it do that? I put in the wheat here, and the wheat goes into here, as you guys can see. Now, you can see there's also a water bucket there. And it does need to be a water bucket. And there should be another one, which I believe it just despawned. So I guess we're just going to have one water bucket there. Basically, the water bucket, when it's empty, is going to go into here. I just realized that I don't need half of this, but it's okay. I'm going to leave it like this. Basically, this mechanical arm is picking up the bucket there, putting it here. Spout waters it. That mechanical arm is putting it from there into that filtered thingy and putting into the basin right here. Now, I don't need half of this. I don't need this mechanical arm. I can put this guy one block closer and immediately spout that. And I can use that mechanical arm to put directly into a brass funnel that's on the side of that. Well, actually, I'm going to make that. Yeah, so basically this, it outputs the empty bucket in here, the spout waters it, then this mechanical arm puts it from here into this funnel, and it goes back in with water. So just as simple as that, and we can grab another stack of wheat, and we put into this, and then, we have dough coming out. And I also had it here, an area where we can cook items in this tiny corner. And as you can see, we now made bread from that wheat or dough, I guess, that we just cooked. We use this system right here to cook this dough into bread, which means we can make a lot of bread. So we can make a lot of like egg sandwiches, we can make mutton wraps, bacon sandwiches, chicken sandwiches, hamburgers, and maybe even some roast chicken. Which, actually, roast chicken is actually not a bad idea, is it? All we need is to cook some potatoes, which you can cook over here. Or we can even cook over here if you want to. The thing is, I don't believe we can cook the dough there. I guess I can try it out, but I don't believe we can. Yeah, this can't be cooked. It needs to be smoked. And if you put there, it will smoke it, and we got the bread. So basically, this area is fully automated. Sort of. I still need one last thing, and that is to automatically feed my animals, because they're currently only being fed manually by me into these hoppers. As you can see, they're actually taking a lot of food, like a lot of food. Oh, the chickens are actually pretty good. Well, this works still for the rabbits. The only issue is that I got 25 rabbits there and 25 rabbits there. But I had to put the funnel there, which means that they're not really going down. Because they, for some reason, can't go down. They can go down, that's the thing, but they just don't move at all. You can see they're all in the same area. Even though they're super small, they can't move. I believe it's because of the hitbox that this one is pushing that one against the corner, so they're not able to move. But it still works, though there's a lot of unnecessary space because the contraption itself is not really doing anything. These ones are from earlier that I pushed by standing there, but now if I stand there, I'll die because that's entity cramming right now. And now I believe I've built the system. So basically, whenever it gets here, I have a filter here which will separate wheat, seeds, and carrots. And all of them then get here, they get split. I should probably put force split, but I'll just leave it on split. and we'll split the items into these drawers and into the upstairs area where we will sort them out. Then I put them going into this brass tunnel where we then separate it by wheat, the seeds, and the carrots. And the wheat goes into the cows, and this is on a round robin, which means it will also feed into the sheep. And I have it on forced round robin. Then the seeds, they go on their way, they go under that little bridge right there and then go into the chickens. Ideally, I would not have made this like that. I would probably put the chickens first, so I wouldn't have to build this thingy here. But basically, the wheat is a straight line into the chickens, or the seeds, I should say. And the carrots, they do need to go up here, be forced round robin. They do need to go up a block so they don't interact with this line here. We could probably use like some funnels, but I like the idea of having this elevated. And then half of it goes into here, into our pigs, and the other half goes into the rabbits. And now is the moment of truth where we can just, for example, like have a stack of you, and a stack of you. And we should go ahead and try it out over here. 1, 2, 3. All of them should go left and then get split. So we should see 32 seeds, 32 carrots, 32 wheat. And then we should see like 16 go into the cows, for example. Oh. No, because it doesn't split. Yeah, so it would do 32 there. So I would need like another stack of this here. I guess that makes kind of sense. And then the other 32 that are just coming in, that should go into the sheep. That should not go into the cows, right? It still went into the cows. So I'm just gonna do split then. Yeah, I'm just gonna do split. I'm gonna do split here as well. Gonna do split. To make sure that that doesn't do things. I'm not gonna do forced split. I'm just gonna do split. And then we'll try again. So let's go with wheat. Like 2 stacks of wheat. The seeds I don't need to try out because I know that they're gonna do the right thing. Let's just see. Yep. Half of it goes there. Which means we have a stack here of each. And let's just see what happens here. So whenever it gets around there, should split 16. Yes, 16 there, 16 there. Which means we can now feed these guys perfectly. The same goes into here. And the same goes into here. And I have like a lot of rabbits, so they need a lot of carrots. Yeah, but it's functional now. It looks kind of cool, this area here. A little bit complicated to understand, but it's just belt work, you know. You know how to like move belts and stuff. This is simple. Now there's still one last resource I would like to automate, but I just can't figure out where I want to put it. Because you see this area right here plus this area out at the front, I'm gonna turn it into a proper restaurant. Yes, and this restaurant will have access to the subway, which is down here. Right around here. Yes, it will have an access to that. So kind of ignoring this line here, for example, I am like going with the idea of making a small building here, which I probably will do. Small building here that does have like a crossway above the railway. So the people can actually go into here and enjoy a little bit of a meal, you know? And I also want to make a downstairs area, or an area where it could go down into the tracks down at the bottom over there. I still need to do the area where I want to have my personal train, not only the ethanol train going around. I want to have like a personal train, a train for people. I'll probably even put some villagers on it now that I think about it. And then I could have like a trading thingy where every now and then I'll get like a train just arriving and I could trade with the villagers, or I could just hop onto the train and then I could trade with the villagers there. That'll be a very cool idea, actually. Tell me what you think about the villager idea. I should probably do it. So now I have to decorate. a lot of decoration going on here. Yes, I do need to decorate a lot of things. So I'm gonna have to end the video. And yes, hopefully you guys enjoyed this video as much as I did, because it was a blast for me. And see ya in the next one. Bye.